Content is not, I'm going to post today. Content is, what am I promoting? Who is it for? Why do they care? And then we ask a specific question. What do they need to know, understand, or believe in order to want to buy this product?
Boom. Let's dive in. Today's episode is a live clip from a training I did yesterday. How to create a content and promotions calendar that actually leads people down the path to a sale. And by the way, that what do people need to know, understand, and believe? That is from Amy Porterfield. I think I learned that like 10 years ago from her. Super useful. So there is a graphic/template that you can download that goes with this episode and with the entire content promotions calendar mini class. You can find that at fashionbrainacademy.com/promotions. Should be in the show notes as well. And you should be able to also sign up to get that free class. It may not be set up yet if you're listening to this right when it gets released, because, hey, it's Friday afternoon and I got a baseball game to go to. But it will be set up soon. And I encourage you to get that visual for this episode so you can kind of see a little bit more what I'm talking about. You don't need it. You can listen without it, but it'll make more sense if you have that. And then if it speaks to you, I really would sign up for that mini class because the response has been amazing. People went from like really confused and overwhelmed about what to do. And by the end of the class, one woman typed in, I don't think it could be this easy. Am I missing something? I'm like, no, it can be that easy. All right, so let's dive in. And we're going to lead off with the 6 reasons content feels hard. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. It's Jane Hamill. And today we're going to talk about your content and promotions plan. Let me ask you something. When you think of a content and promotions plan, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Like literally, you think, oh shit. Do you think, I don't have one? Like, what was the first thing that popped in your head when you think, okay, content promotions plan, type it in. Seriously, let me know. Because what I'm finding is that a lot of people feel a content and promotions plan is a social media plan. And one thing that I think is a concept that I would like to shake up in your brain is that content is more than what you post on social. And it's different. And if you have an actual content and promotions plan, then what to post on social, what to send in your emails, what to talk about is easy, like easy. And do you imagine that having a content and promotions plan could be easy? When you think, did anybody say easy? Okay, let me just find out here. All right. So, Denver in the house. All right. Westchester, rain. Okay. When I think content plan, I think need one. Need one. That's so awesome. What is it? And I need one. Oh my God, that's so funny. Time consuming, brain freeze. Oh, Melissa, I have brain freeze on it too. I think marketing, I think organization, which really gets me rolling on anything I do. Okay, great. I think, oh my, what to do? Yeah, right. I made a calendar to blog, but need to promote and market. Okay, great. I have made a calendar, blah, blah, have one, but could use some refining, help, more ideas. Okay, awesome. Too much work. Yes, I know, right? So there's so many. I Googled up content and promotions plan before we started. And stuff that comes up makes my brain hurt. Okay, so I'm going to show you today a simpler way to do this. And in order to make it simpler, we have to change our mindset about a couple things. All right, so let's start there. The first thing that there's 6 reasons that content feels hard. Okay. And then I just want to tell you, like, what do we really think content is? And then we're going to do it together. Does that sound good? Everybody in? Let's go. All right. 6 reasons content feels hard. Number 1, you don't really know who your ideal customer is, and or you're maybe not willing to potentially offend someone who's not your ideal customer by something you say or do with your content. So if you are thinking my content is designed for a woman in her between the age of 40 to 60 who blah, 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 that is not an ideal customer. That's a compilation of demographics on a high school paper. Okay. An actual buyer persona is your ideal person. Who do you most want to be using your product? Okay. Your ideal person. Okay. Number two, the reason it's hard is that you're getting so many different messages. Every single time you go on social, every single time you open your email, somebody is teaching you something that you're supposed to be doing with your fucking content. And you're exhausted because you're like, well, is it Pinterest? Is it this? Everybody has some advice to give you about content. Okay. Be consistent, be interesting, mix it up, share yourself, be authentic. Show your face, be consistent. Again, use reels, trending audios, be consistent again. TikTok, baby, you're almost too late already. Don't miss the boat. TikTok is the only place to get organic growth. This week alone in my inbox, I had Pinterest is the answer from Jenna Kutcher. I had you can sell anything you want if your writing wasn't boring from Ash Amberge. I had the reason you're not successful is that you lack systems and planning. By my Asana course, which I almost bought, by the way, until Julie talked some sense into me, understanding how to use a tool is not the answer to organization, right? And then TikTok is the only place you can get organic growth these days and blow up. Okay. All of these came in my inbox this week. Every single time they were talking about what they're talking about, I wanted to buy the program. Anybody? How many times have you bought a program thinking, if I just do their blueprint step by step, it will work for me and I can fix my problem with trying to do all the things? How many courses have you bought that you don't open and use? I know. And the reason is because we think there's an answer. There's one answer. Well, if I just follow the Jenna Kutcher system, if I just look at so-and-so, my competition who's like four steps ahead of me, and they're probably making like $1 million by now. If I just do what they do and reverse engineer their strategy, then it will be easier and I will be successful. Has anybody said that to themselves? Yeah. Sometimes, I'm taking notes so big of step 1, step 2, that I'm not even listening to what they're saying. I'm just like, give me the formula so I can follow it. So this doesn't have to be so hard. If that was true, I would give you the fucking formula, and I will give you what I think is the formula today, but still all of the frameworks, they're still you and what matters to you and your business, which is different than the person next to you. It really, really is. Okay. And that's okay. That's the beautiful thing. We just have to find a way to trust ourselves to have our own message, our own content, our own way of releasing and selling products. Okay. Okay. So planning your process, your content in advance with an eye on future sales is a total game changer. The process of creating a content calendar is not complicated. It can be if you Google up and you get 85 different potential templates, like I tried this morning, just to see what's out there. But it can feel overwhelming at first. So the truth is that having a content strategy that attracts people to you, that you can consistently do, that isn't exhausting for you, is what is going to help you get a simple sales system, a simple content and promotions system. And that can be life-changing. If you know you have something that works, that can be repeated, everything is easier, right? Okay, so knowing what to do with your content and how to back your content up into sales is the goal. And what happens is most people get it backwards. And I wrote this down. So, we're talking about 6 reasons it feels hard. One of the reasons is because you wake up in the morning and you say, what should I post, right? What should I post today? And posting eventually is going to lead to sales, right? That's the way it's supposed to work. That's what everybody says. Just be consistent, do reels, trending audios, right? But the fact is, instead of I'm going to post and then get them to a sale, we're going to flip that. We're going to say, what do I want to sell? and when. And we're going to back that shizzle up, beep, 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 into what to post. So it's easier. Okay. All right. So the reasons it feels hard is, one, you don't have an ideal customer in mind. You're really thinking that you need to sell to a lot of different kinds of people, and you don't want to leave anyone out. Number two, you have so many different messages coming in from everybody that you're not sure what content to do. Number three, you think content means social media, whereas content, and I hope you just write this down, it's a more global sense of supporting your products, your message, your why, your who, it's all of it. Okay. So it's video, it's podcast, it's blog articles, it's ads, it's images, it's carousels, it's your messaging. It's all of your messaging that's designed to attract your ideal person, which will then in turn actively repel anyone who's not ideal for you. And that can be a tricky thing when you don't want to like offend anybody, or, well, so-and-so says you only cater to small women and little sizes, and you're on the front lines, right, with your content. Number four reason it feels hard is because you start and stop. Is there anybody who relates with that? Like, I do. I start and stop. I get in a groove and then I get off it. I get in a groove and I get off it. And why does that happen? Yeah. Hey, Beth, how are you? Yeah, because we have a system that's hard. We have a system that's not easy to stick with. We have a system that isn't planned in advance. We don't have support. We're winging it. And then, I posted yesterday, there's a time to plan and a time to implement, a time to think, a time to act. And if they're at the same time, you get the crazy brain. Am I right? Like, you're like, oh, well, I made that plan, but now it's Monday morning and I think I should post this instead. So let me think about what to do, and then I'll have to do it. And thinking and acting in the same experience is really hard for creative people, because we're going to second guess and overthink every freaking thing we do. And this kind of perfectionism and need for everything to be just right really serves us when you're the one who designs a product. The product has to be right. It has to fit. It has to stay on, You can't have earrings flopping off because you just worried about how sparkly they were and not how they felt when you wore them. But that level of needing it to be right when it comes to content is hurting us very much, very, very much. Okay. So that's why we start and stop. We don't have a system that's easy. We don't always believe it's going to work. We don't see the point. And we just get freaking exhausted, and we have decision fatigue because we don't stick to a plan. Number five, sometimes what makes it hard is it feels precious. If I post this and nobody likes it and nobody's getting sales from it and nobody's commenting, I'm such a loser. I can't even get like one people to like my thing. It can just be a mind effer. Okay. And the sixth reason is the reversing of the whole process. What should I post? I need to get sales, instead of, oh, here's what I want to sell. Let's back that up into who it's for and what is the messaging that will attract them, and how do I get their attention without just feeling like I'm salesy? Okay. Is there anybody at this point? I just laid a lot on you. Is there anybody who's like, wait a minute, I'm starting to see this differently? Was there any aha here for anybody? If there is, can you type what that is so I can kind of get what you're up to? Repeat number five. Number five, it feels precious. You're making your content precious. Like it has to be all perfect. It has to be the right message. If there's a typo, I can't release it. I was going to send that email, but it takes me 4 hours to send an email. Like perfectionism. And every little piece of things that you do has to be just right? Which it doesn't, obviously. We think it's start and stop. Right. Backing it up, back that decision fatigue and overwhelm. Alicia, so do I. This is why almost everything I teach usually has a simple formulaic approach to it when you get down to it. All right. So let me dive into how we can kind of fix this. We've kind of diagnosed like the problem. Hello, doctor. Thank you for diagnosing the problem. Now, could you tell me what in the actual beep am I supposed to do about it? Okay. So let's kind of try to make this easier for you and get you a system you can follow. All right. Okay, so let me bring this up. And by the way, everybody here will get the template for my simple content calendar that I'm about to show you. And you're also going to get the bonus of the more detailed content calendar I'm going to show you. Those who showed up live. When you show up live, you get extra stuff. Okay. So let's go over it. Let's change your income and your stress because you have a plan which you can follow, which is a magical thing because then you won't have as much of the decision fatigue, the overwhelm, and the frustration. Okay. Time to think and a time to execute, not the same time. So we think because we've been sold this on social media so many times, the process of getting a sale is people see it and they buy it. See, buy. But that's not it. What has to happen is, oops, why you gotta be like that?
I don't have an answer for that.
Siri.
Is there something else I can help you?
Oh God, Siri. See, want, buy. So the buyer's journey is first they discover, oh, this exists. And then they have to actually be interested and want something. And then they're ready to buy. So that's what is going on in someone's mind. Okay. We think you pop something up and people just buy it. Now, any of you who've been in business long enough, you know that that's not working that great. And so it can be very frustrating for you. But the truth is, see, want, then they're ready to buy. Okay. So the sales cycle takes longer than we think it's supposed to. And there need to be more touch points than we think there's supposed to be. And that can be frustrating because we're not patient. We want money now, right? So the customer goes on this journey, which is see, want. Okay, now I'm ready to buy because you gave me a reason today, not just because it's Tuesday. And then they're going to take their credit card out. And that can be frustrating for us because we got bills today, right? So the content journey can also go on this see, want, buy journey. Okay. And again, please remember that content is not just what you post on social. Content includes videos, podcasts, blog articles, ads, images, your website content, your product descriptions, your carousels, all of it. All right. So let's start with our big rocks first. What do you want to sell and when? Okay. So if you think about now, as I'm taping this, it is March something, and we just had the first day of spring this week. Okay. What do you want to sell and when? Decide what products you want to sell and when you actually plan to sell them. So when are your new product releases? What is the seasonality of your business? Which there is, even if you're a very slow fashion, not trendy, not season business, there's a seasonality. If you have a new collection coming for summer, right, or late spring or whatever, what products are you planning to promote and when? Don't even start with your content until you know what am I selling, to whom, and why are they going to care? Okay. So what do you know you're going to sell and when? Let's look at that. And then you can look at what you did last year and riff on that. So many of us just start posting shit to get into action instead of thinking, hold on a second. I want to sell this type of thing to that exact person on these dates, and why will they care? Okay. And back that shizzle up into a plan. So if you want to look at what worked last year, you can, but for the most part, it doesn't matter. Some of you have been in business for years and it does matter, but if everything was going exactly the way you wanted, you wouldn't sign up for this webinar, right? So let's just take 5 minutes to think about you and your products, okay? And I'm just going to set a timer, okay? 5 minutes, 3 minutes. What are you selling and when in the next 90 days? Okay. So, well, I want to sell all of my products. That's no. No. What specific products will you be promoting? And by promoting, I don't mean a discount. I mean featuring, telling them they should buy, giving them a reason. Maybe it's a discount. Maybe it's a value add. Maybe there's a buy this, get this. Maybe there's a we only have 7 of these, or this is made to order, or this is a special drop, or this is a mystery box. Take a second and just look at the calendar. What are you planning to sell and when? Well, that's a good question. Alicia says, should it be only one collection or multiples? So herein lies the problem. If you don't know what you're planning to sell, how in the heck do you create content around it? Right? So it's up to you. So if you're talking about emails featuring one product at a time, is almost always going to convert better than featuring an entire collection. Almost always. For many of you, if you have, well, I have, 60 products or 30 products and they're always on my site, then it's not, giving them a reason to buy a particular thing at a particular time. And if you're like, well, look, I'm slow fashion, I'm, sustainable, and I don't believe in like this and, whatever, like fake scarcity. Well, maybe it's not fake scarcity. Maybe it really is that you're only going to produce a few of these and then it's gone and it goes away. And so, what are you planning to sell and when, and why would they care? Right? Okay, great, Michelle, I got you. Yes. All of this is why I call it a content and promotions calendar. Because if you're not promoting anything right now, if you haven't launched yet, if you're restructuring, somebody last year at this time, they're switching websites, so they really weren't selling in the month of March much, right? You're still doing all the same content without the parts about go buy it. Everything's the same, except the call to action is not there. The call to action to purchase is not there. Yeah. So this is the same. There's nothing here that you can't do that everyone else is doing, except the part that says buy now. Okay. So yeah, so Alicia, look at everything you could sell and make some choices. Say, what if I just sell, this pink skirt for 3 days in a row on this long weekend? What if I do it's National Cupcake Day, and I have a cupcake colored themed shirt. And if you buy it on this day, you're going to get a free blank, like whatever. We're really thinking of what is the promotion that I'm offering. Again, doesn't mean a discount. Just means what is the thing you're offering for sale and when. Okay. Let's take another minute. Really should have some theme music. Okay, perfect. So Trisha is selling my Fuck Anxiety Morse code bracelet. It's so good. So if she knows she's going to sell that, I think it's back when you get back from spring break. So it's launching in about, 2 weeks. How do we back that up into a plan for content that leads them into a sale? Now, does that mean all of your content is about anxiety? No, but some of it is. So now you start to seed the idea that anxiety is difficult and everybody should fuck anxiety. And then, oh my God, shocking. We have a fuck anxiety bracelet for sale. Go buy it now. Right? So how do you take what you want to sell and create demand before they even know that the product's coming? That's what we're doing here. Okay. It's sprinkled around the content. Perfect. We make plantain chips. Ooh, Melissa, fun. This would be the products. 3 new flavors, new solo format, breading. Okay. Amazing. 3 new flavors, right? Has your people voted on the flavors? Have you said, hey, name our flavor? Now, look, I know you've already chosen your flavors, but they don't. You can say, hey, we're looking at these 7 ideas for flavors. We want you to vote on your top 3. And look, they're probably going to vote on the top 3. It's a way to get the buy-in for them. Oh my God, I voted, freaking, caramel flavor. And look, now she's got caramel. That was my choice. Oh my God, this is so great. Right? It's sort of like a version of crowdsourcing or a Kickstarter. Spike Lee does not need that $1 million from the Kickstarter. He can get $1 million of people, but he wants the buy-in. So what are you planning to sell and when? And then how do we back that up into your content? Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is this. Okay. So what are you planning to offer to your community as far as products? So this is kind of some people's, stuff like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Okay. What I want to show you is this. Okay. So this is my simple content calendar. This is it. This is it. This is a screenshot. I'm going to give you the real thing. But basically, when you look at this, we are taking, this is the example of my client that sells high-end women's wear brand. Okay. And she knows in August, she's launching a new collection. Okay. And her collection is luxury, bespoke, and so big. And it's something that is not anything you can buy off the rack, right? So she needs them to understand why purchasing a completely made to order piece of clothing is different than anything you can buy on the rack, even if it's Armani. Okay. So if she knows that she's going to do this thing and she knows some people are interested, but they don't see why would I spend that on that when I could just buy it? So she's going to start peppering content that leads them into the idea that getting something custom made is really cool. So she's going to do the real difference between a custom jacket and off the rack. She's going to do an Ask the Expert. Client owns a couture piece and want to know what to wear with it. She's going to be the expert. She's going to be like, hey, I have this thing. What do I wear with it? She's going to talk nostalgia, old famous designers. She can show pictures and seed the idea of when women would order from the designer directly, what it's really like to have a custom fitting so they understand the process. And then she is running a sale here, right? How to wear bright colors even when you think you can't. Who actually buys custom fit clothing, right? Maybe they think it's all just ladies who lunch and people on, rich ladies. And she wants to show like, look, there's this kind of person or this kind of person or this kind of person. So so a lot of her content is leading up to a particular launch because she's more of a classic fashion company who has product launches, right? Like that. So she's going to have quotes from Jeffrey Bean. So that's that. And then she knows she's doing a raincoat launch in September, right? So then she's going to start to pepper into her content. Rain, misty images, the beauty of our rainy day, why we love the rain. She said, iconic movies with rainy scenes, right? These are just here. She's got National Mustard Day, National Sisters Day, World Cat Day. She's like, these are just things that appealed to her that she thought, should I do any content around, Sisters Day? Maybe I have a story of my sister that I want to share, whatever. Okay. So the whole point is, what are the big rocks? What are you planning to sell and when? And then how do we prime people? How do we seed the idea that you're probably going to want this? It's probably going to help your life if you had this without being so obvious about it. Okay. So let me show you another example. So let's say that, okay. So what's coming up, right? So the first thing we put in is the what am I going to sell and when? And then we think about what's happening in the world, right? Well, there's Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day, Father's Day, what's coming up in the world, that next goes in your calendar. and then what's coming up in my life, my personal life. So I know I have vacation. I know I have kids don't have school, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The boyfriends, my best friends, we're going to Dublin, blah, blah, blah. So in your calendar, the simple calendar, and then I'll show you this black and white example, you start to put the important things. So this is my thing. Okay. So in May, I had a theme, systems, procedures, and routines. And that's because I want them to have to understand these things so I can sell you into this program the next week, the next month, right? So I plan my content week by week. Okay. So this is it. This is the entire year on one page. And this, you don't have to do themes, but I would put in here big drops or big themes. So if it's all about, my convertible shirt in the month of August or the first 2 weeks of August, then, what are you doing to prep that and to seed that with content until the launch date? In addition to all the things you could do, like a VIP list, an early drop list, early bird, the classic e-commerce stuff. Okay. All right. So big rocks first, right? Number one, content is not, I'm going to post today. Content is, what am I promoting? Who is it for? Why do they care? And then we ask a specific question. What do they need to know, understand, or believe in order to want to buy this product?